Right now, inside the British welfare system, there is a multi-billion-pound ledger of unclaimed money. It isn't a budget deficit, and it isn't a projection. It is cash, already allocated by the Treasury, sitting under names just like yours. But as we enter the summer of 2026, the Department for Work and Pensions is relying on one specific thing: your silence, because we are currently counting down to a brutal fiscal hard stop at the beginning of July. If you act before that window slams shut, the British state is legally forced to hand back thousands of pounds in backdated payments stretching all the way back to April's financial new year. If you wait until mid-July, that money doesn't get delayed. It gets permanently absorbed back into Whitehall's coffers. Today, we are exposing 5 specific, legally guaranteed payouts that millions of British pensioners are entitled to right now, but are completely missing out on. I'm going to give you the exact, verified 2026 figures, the hidden legal loopholes, and the precise phone numbers you need to ring tomorrow morning. And if you stay until the end, I will show you how a single phone call made this week triggers a domino effect, automatically locking in an extra £300 tax-free cash injection directly into your bank account this coming winter. Before the DWP changes the locks on these windows, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. The state will never write a letter to volunteer this information. The people subscribed here find out while the money is still claimable. Let's look at asset number 1. Let's start with the absolute focal point of the July deadline: pension credit. On the 6th of April 2026, the government uprated weekly benefit caps. The new legal minimum baseline for a single pensioner in the UK is now £218.15 a week. For couples, it is £332.95. If your weekly income falls below those exact thresholds, you are legally entitled to have the DWP top you up to that amount. Yet, over 800,000 elderly people are living below the poverty line, claiming absolutely nothing. Here is the July trap. By law, pension credit can only be backdated by a maximum of 3 months. If you apply during the first week of July, the 90-day retrieval window stretches all the way back to the first week of April. It clawbacks every single penny of the higher 2026 rates from the very start of the financial year. But wait until the middle or end of July, and every single week you delay causes a massive chunk of your backdated cash to vanish into thin air. You can own your own home. You can have up to £10,000 in savings completely ignored. Do not let them keep your money. Ring the pension credit claim line tomorrow on 899 1234 and demand the April backdate. The second payout is the single largest administrative oversight in British retirement history. Nearly 1 million pensioners qualify for attendance allowance, yet their accounts sit empty. Why? Because of a massive myth that you have to be in a wheelchair or a care home to receive it. Let's shatter that myth with the official 2026 figures. Attendance allowance is completely tax-free, and it is not means-tested. The DWP does not care about your income, your savings, or what your house is worth. If you are state pension age and a physical or mental condition means you need help with daily living, even if it's just trouble getting dressed due to severe arthritis, early-stage cognitive decline, or failing eyesight, you qualify. The lower rate sits at £72.65 a week. The higher rate sits at £108.55 a week. That is up to £5,644 a year in pure cash. But unlike other benefits, attendance allowance cannot be backdated to April. It is only paid from the exact day your claim form arrives. Every week you sit procrastinating is a week of free cash gone forever. Call 800 731 122 immediately. Request the AA1 application form. The moment they log that phone call, your start date is legally locked in. You then have 6 weeks to complete the paperwork, but your payout begins from the day of the call. Next up is a bill that hits every single doorstep across the UK. And in 2026, it is higher than ever. Council tax. The average annual bill has rocketed past £2,300, yet millions of eligible pensioners are paying it in full. Here is the rule change for 2026. If you successfully claim the guarantee credit element of pension credit, your council tax bill doesn't just go down, it drops to zero. You are legally exempt, even if you don't qualify for pension credit but have a total household income below the baseline and savings under £16,000, you are highly likely to secure a massive partial reduction. But your local council will never call you to lower your bill. They will simply send the invoice and wait for your hard-earned cash. Go to gov.uk, search for your local council's name alongside council tax reduction, and apply directly. Just like our first asset, explicitly state on the form that you want the 3-month backdating clause applied so you can wipe out your council tax liability retrospectively back to April. This next strategy is brilliant, counterintuitive, and almost completely unknown. It applies specifically to pensioners who spend 35 hours or more a week looking after a sick or disabled spouse or partner at home. In 2026, carer's allowance pays £83.20 a week. However, British law dictates you cannot receive two overlapping benefits. Because your state pension is almost certainly higher than £83.20 if you apply for carer's allowance, the DWP will promptly send you a harsh, official refusal letter. 90% of people open that letter, feel defeated, and throw it in the bin. That is a devastating mistake. That rejection letter is actually a legal golden ticket. It officially triggers a status called an underlying entitlement. It tells the benefit system that while they cannot pay you carer's allowance directly, you are a certified carer. This legal status automatically unlocks the carer premium inside pension credit, adding an extra £45.60 every single week to your entitlement baseline. That is a hidden £2,371 a year that you cannot unlock without getting rejected first. Don't let a formal letter scare you. Ring 800 731 297. Apply for carer's allowance, get the refusal, and watch your pension credit baseline surge. Our fifth payout isn't a direct benefit deposit. It is the permanent protection of your weekly state pension base. To get the full £241.30 weekly state pension in 2026, you must have 35 qualifying years on your national insurance record. Millions of British pensioners are receiving significantly less simply because they have random, empty gaps in their employment history. Take note, throughout July 2026, HMRC is distributing urgent direct letters to individuals who have historically topped up their records via voluntary Class 2 contributions, particularly those with periods spent abroad. There are vital procedural changes happening to contribution structures right now. If that letter hits your map this July, ignoring it could invalidate years you've already paid for. For everyone else, the clock is ticking. Log into your personal tax account at gov.uk and inspect your national insurance record. If you have missing years, call the Future Pension Centre on 800 731 175. Buying back a missing year costs roughly £900, but it adds roughly £358 every single year to your pension for the rest of your life. Within less than 3 years, you've made your money back, and every future triple lock increase will compound on top of that higher base permanently. Now, let's tie this entire system together and look at the massive domino effect that makes acting before the July deadline so incredibly lucrative. Following recent legislative changes, the winter fuel payment is no longer universal. It has been stripped away from millions. In 2026, the only way to guarantee your winter fuel cash injection is to be on a means-tested benefit, specifically pension credit. If you follow the steps for our first or fourth asset and establish a successful pension credit claim, before the autumn qualifying deadline, the DWP system triggers an automated secondary payout. Come November or December, an extra £200 if you were born between 1,946 and 1,960, or a full £300 if you were born before 1,946, will be dropped straight into your account completely automatically. One single push this month means backdated cash from April, an immediate stop to your council tax, a weekly carers boost, and your winter heating bills covered by the state. Whitehall will not piece this puzzle together for you. You have to claim what is legally yours. Share this video with a retiree, a family member, or a neighbour who needs to check their entitlements before the July window shuts down. Don't miss the next regulatory update. Subscribe now and I'll see you in the next video.